Right. So,
who was that, Siri?
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the latest edition in our PBI digital series. So we've been going live with content, bringing the industry together for the last 6 weeks now, I think it is, and really looking at how do we engage and connect the whole community that we serve, and the lacks of actually followers we have across social media, the website, etc. And today we're very lucky because we've got a very interesting perspective. We're actually talking to some of the key brands, and biggest importers, distributors, manufacturers in the country to really hear about their point of view from a brand perspective. So we're very fortunate. We have Rizwan, who's from Streaks. We've got Ravi Mittal from Cosmetics. We've got Ryan Merchant from Sis Group, and we've got Ankit Virmani from the SK Group. And what we're going to really talk about is, I think we'll start, we've only got an hour, there's a lot to talk about. Let's really get into the whole focus on salon reopening strategy. We've seen videos circulating in the last week from Bina last week in Goa, the Leva Salon this week in Gurgaon, about what they're doing from a health safety point of view. So we know what salons are thinking. Essentially for your clients, this is them opening up their salons for the very first time, right? Because they've never had to operate under these conditions where they're wearing masks, maybe visors, gloves. What kind of impact is that salon reopening strategy having on you guys in your business as manufacturers and brand owners?
So
Rizwan, if you want to start off with that.
Okay. So before I attempt a question, a few things I would like to say. There have been a lot of rumor mongering. There have been a lot of gaslighting happening around COVID-19. Even to an extent that, some tigers have died in a zoo out of coronavirus, But the fact remains that, it's true, it exists. And we all are, many of us have seen the consequence and the result. So yes, we are in a very, very turmoil time. And it's very, very important that we use our probably every sense to kind of stay alert and do things. World over, unfortunately, India, if you look at Indian salon industry, I would say it's auto-regulated. You hardly, I am not aware of outlets. But world over, salons business are regulated. And so there have been a lot of do's and don'ts laid down for them. In India, it's only like last 10 days, we have seen some development through some institutions. And, they have been floating do's and don'ts and safety and hygiene videos and presentations and everything. So I would first thing before we get into answering your question, I would request every listener, every audience that boss, please respect the guideline, whatever has been laid down for you by the institutions, by the brand owners, by your buddy salons, the institutions, academies. Because you have to be very, very careful. If it is said that do not give services which involves your face, which involves your body, please abstain from it. Whether you are doing it in your salon or, I don't know, wherever. So avoid doing it, because you have to be very, very careful with your yeses much before you realize it's late. Okay. Now, about the other things I would like to say, what was your question, Vikas? Which I would just like.
For example, with Streaks, you've got a lot of salons that you cater to. So you've got tens of thousands of salons across the country, from small C grade, to kind of some of the A grade as well. So you talk and deal with a lot of salons, this whole spectrum. We know that the chain salons, that 1% of the community that are sophisticated salons that have good SOPs and protocols in place, they're probably going to be fine. But actually the 99%, the other lacks, of salons out there are at risk of damaging our community
Absolutely.
if they do anything wrong. So
Absolutely.
how are you communicating as a
Yes,
brand about, look,
yeah.
these are the kind of things, and how are you educating them with regards to their reopening strategy?
Okay, great. So basically, we are probably dealing with one of the most dangerous lots of the industry, and probably run of the mills. So what we are doing, Vikas, we have already developed a complete health and hygiene safety standards, and we are calling people to our webinar. We have trained up more than, let's say, 7,000 people so far on the safety aspect. And not only that, we are also trying and issuing them certificate, which basically they can, if need be, they can put it up in their salon and tell them that, you know, I have already attended these classes wherein I have been taught about the safety and hygiene aspect. So we are ready to serve you better way. So these are the initiatives which we have taken as a brand, and it's very crucial for everyone actually, not just us.
Super. And then Ryan, what about you? Because obviously you've got part of the group which is wholesale and store, as well as distribution, and you've got kind of slightly more mass market brands and premium brands as well. So what are the kind of support you're giving to, you know, your clients at the moment through this phase?
See, I'll tell you, Vic, currently the need of the hour is the availability of stocks. You know, a lot of education has been floated in the market. Most of the salons are completely knowing exactly what they want to buy. You know, they have their lists already prepared. Of course, we have prepared our own curriculars and mini catalogs that's been floated in the market. As an equipment, furniture, and resource supplier, we have everything end to end that what a salon would need in order to restart post-COVID lockdown. Considering that the kind of ordering that's been flowing to us pan-India, for now, the biggest challenge is how does the goods go to them and reach them? That's number one. Number two, how much can be produced at a time? We all know that during lockdown, whether it was imported items or whether it was Indian items, the production of everything was stopped, you know, and due to which, once things are now starting up, the productions have still not started up, the imports have still not started up. So there is a shortfall of products across the portfolio. The other problem is the existing stocks, which are domestically produced, are also supplied at a much higher price than what it was earlier. This is because the demands are coming from various resources and various aspects, right? From everyone now demanding a disposable item, even in their houses, is a huge jump and relatively creating a shortfall. So the problem and the solution both right now is, of course, selecting the goods, what is needed, and making sure that even if not in whole, but in parts, make them reach so that the salons are ready for a restart post the lockdown is what we are working towards.
Cool. And are you seeing, like you said, most salons understand what they need, but when you get into the kind of less sophisticated, you know, the kind of B-, C level, are you finding that there's some confusion about what to order? Because already we have some discussions that, you know, you've got people either just wearing masks or they're wearing visors, and the whole, what you would find in a hospital PPE kit, which is also quite intimidating when you're going for salon service. So what are you helping them say, look, this is what's needed, so don't go overboard?
Yeah, for sure. We are definitely having a conversation across. It's not just that. Eventually now, it's no more a possibility that people are just emailing orders or giving orders on the phone call. There is a conversation which is happening. Everyone is trying to understand what is needed. We have a team which is well trained and experienced in this segment of the industry in our office, where they are kind of consulting that if you take this, if you take A, you don't need B, and so on. Plus, salons are also being educated about each category service and what will be the essentials required for whether it's skin, whether it's beauty, whether it's hair, whether it's chemicals, whether it is interior hygiene or exterior precautions, everything. So we are having our own communications. There are communications available when you easily Google them, which leads up to a simplified solution is what we are looking at, not doing overboard. And
Absolutely.
it's actually not even needed currently in the need of the hour. There shouldn't be any panic buying. Just understand what is needed. Go with your basics, right? Keep yourself well sanitized and surrounding well sanitized. And you really don't need to, go into like a body armor suit. It's just, going fine.
Yeah.
I'd just like to add a Vikas to what Vaid said. It doesn't look nice actually mentioning it here because it looks more like a posting of what we are doing as an initiative. But we also decided to kind of distribute around 10,000 kits, safety kits, salon care kits to around 10,000 salons pan-India, and mostly to our existing buyers, key buyers. Yeah. So we have taken this initiative and hopefully we'll roll it out as soon as we are ready with the kit, which is most probably 28, 29. And as salons opens up, probably it will be rolled out immediately.
Super. So Ravi, Ankit, I'll move that conversation on more to because you guys also deal in the skin segment. So, Ravi, obviously you've got one of the leading brands in skin, and we've seen when salons have opened up in other markets, like we've seen in Dubai, from the European market, in Sri Lanka, they're looking to start off with more hair and nails, for example. And I was chatting to Nena from Sri Lanka 2 days ago, and she was saying skin services is off the table right now. So are you seeing any kind of thinking from salons right now with regards to how they're going to open? Like, is it full service? Is it a mixed message coming back at you? What's the kind of feeling you're getting from salons at the moment?
To start with, we all know that this situation has caught us by surprise. We never thought that we had to close down our businesses for such a long period. But then we all know we have to start somewhere, and we have to reshape our strategies. We have to, strategy around continuity of business, and also helping salons to reopen. Now, biggest challenge what salons faces is not, obviously the hair you said will be the most essential for a person walking in the salon first up after almost 50, 60 days of lockdown. And
I'm an example.
And not try to do a thing that I have done to myself. Don't advise that to anybody. But then, for us, Skandor has, it's like a treatment range. We deal with skin concerns. So people already, I don't see any much change in consumer spending habits as of now. And only thing is that salon has to win back the confidence. That is the biggest challenge at the moment I see. And if they are able to do that, if they are able to tell the consumer that, okay, we are prepared, as Rizwan said, we are certified, we have taken all possible precautions for safety and hygiene, and the consumer will definitely want to come back for the services. It may be initially they might not choose for skin care, but eventually they will have to. They have to address their skin concerns. For example, somebody having anti-wrinkle treatment. Now, how far a person or how long a person can wait for not having that look good, feel good factor will still remain. So I don't think so. For a longer period, it will have much impact on our businesses. Worldwide, we see that the salons have started opening, and we see a very positive sign. And certainly we see that there is huge demand of our retail products. The salons have started supplying at home and themselves, and it's a good way, and because they're also connecting with their consumer. So I feel that it will be a positive thing for all of us in the near future.
Yeah. Are you seeing any kind of difference in the way they do skin? Are you giving them advice on how to do skin treatment, the waxing, etc.? Is there any kind of advice that's coming from Skin Door, definitely? And this is how we would advise you do it in a social distancing world. This is how they'd have to change their behavior as a salon owner.
Definitely, we have already prepared our modules for educating the salons, and we will have our international trainers starting the training from next week onwards. We are in process of finalizing the dates now. As far as the pattern is concerned, or you see that winning of again the winning back the confidence is concerned, it will only come with period of time. So it is not going to happen overnight. And by education, we will obviously train them, and we will definitely teach them the new protocols. For example, we are advising the salons, the therapists, to wear face shield over the mask. And that's what it is internationally, adopted at this moment. And I don't see people wearing PPEs that in some cases that I've seen here in India, abroad, and any recommendation from their government to wear PPEs for salon staff. But only thing is that, of course, if the confidence comes back, there won't be much changes required in the way the skin treatments used to be done before.
Okay. So it shouldn't be too radically different to what they're doing now. It shouldn't be too much. It shouldn't add much complexity.
No, because
the work at the moment.
Because the salons that we work with, they have been adopting a certain level of hygiene. I mean, they were not at zero level. I mean, for example, we always taught them to wear, for the beauticians to wear masks while doing a treatment, for example.
Yeah.
That was, a general procedure that we adopted. So they are at a certain level, and even their consumer know that they were adopting all those hygiene guidelines even before. Yeah. Only thing is that they have to even now tell them that, okay, we are sanitizing the salon, we're sterilizing the tools and equipment, whatever is being used. So, and that will help them to regain the confidence of the consumer.
Okay, super. So, Ankit, obviously you have a portfolio from, whether it's hair to nails to skin as well. So is there anything you're having to do different at the moment with regard to supporting your clients? With regard, like what everyone's saying, there's a lot of education going on now that this is what you need to do from a health and safety point of view. And, all of you, represent high quality brands. I think that already that culture is there, but anything you're doing differently at the moment to support your salons to get started quickly?
See, so the important thing here is that we all have to accept that we are in a changed world now. In the last 2 months, everything changed. And even the way the salons need to offer their services. I mean, now that so many restrictions in place, so many measures that we all have to take, a lot of guidelines that BWSSE has laid down and the government will further lay down and tell us on how to operate salons, etc. The important aspects of distancing would remain. So for the salon now, it is important that they relook at their services. They will have to attend less number of clients in a day. So what they have to focus now is on quicker services, more turnaround, so that they can get back to their old revenue levels as they were, because the costs, everything that have to be taken care of. The consumer mindset has now totally changed. People are, of course, as you rightly said, that the hair services are started, like the haircuts, the hair colors, all of this has started. But also things like waxing, etc., are also will take a lead, because all that also form a part of the basic requirements of every woman. So we all have to re-innovate and relook at the same services on how differently we can offer them. For example, in waxing, the roll-on waxing or the beads waxing with Vika. Now, these kind of things would really take lead than the traditional waxing methods. In skin also, as a lot of emphasis Ravi has explained us about the international way of doing facials, etc. I also spoke to my suppliers, to a lot of people internationally. And some of the salons, because in most countries, the hairdresser and the esthetician, they work differently. Some of these beauty salons have been booked for the next 2 months, and they are taking a lot of precautions. They have to wear, of course, the face mask, the face shield, etc., while doing their services. But it's the norm. Women, they need to feel good. It's their me time. You cannot take that away from them for a long period of time. So all these things are aspect. The retail aspect will also now take a lead, as the services might be affected because there will be less number of clients visiting. A lot of clients will also adapt at ways of doing things at home. I have seen the research, I've seen the trends on Google. A lot of people are actually Googling and researching natural ways of doing things at home, because a lot of them are also hesitant to visit salons at this point. So that confidence building will take time. The salons will have to relook at how they offer the same set of services. Will have to add and increase the quick services which they can offer to them and have more turnarounds. And in this aspect, the retail will also take lead. The retail products will also take lead to
Yeah,
for
that's a great
the
point.
people.
Yeah, and what's interesting, especially Ryan, Duncan, Ravi, you also represent global brands, global high quality brands. So are there any lessons that you're seeing from your principals about what they're seeing in other markets? Like, are you seeing any kind of already developments or trends from the salon opening point of view?
See, all of these companies are giving their own guidelines. Everybody is relooking their training SOPs on adapting them to the new measures. As Ravi said, that PPE kits are, I don't think so, a very feasible or a practical option to work inside the salon because of various reasons. So I think everybody is taking care of education. In the last 2 months, I think everybody has done a lot of education. And now, thanks to this, everybody has provided technology as well. So.
Yeah.
So
So
all these
with
things,
yeah, so obviously that like you were saying before, that there's a lot of fear factor and craziness out right now about we're going to go. We could have some at some extremes. You've got some salons already looking like hospitals in terms of the full kit culture, which doesn't work from a salon service point of view. So what are the kind of alternatives we could see that where health and safety is still.
Vikas has got bad
Sorry,
network.
yeah, I'm not able to hear Vikas.
We had lost you for a while, Vikas.
Right, you can continue. He was asking about health and safety thing, I think.
Yeah, so if PPE is not feasible, what are the other solutions we could have?
So now the choice, Vikas, falls back into salons area, where they have to make a choice between one-time use and between having a reusable use product, but in larger quantities. You either sanitize your products, like your tools, and sterilize them, keep them ready for the next service, or either you pick up products which are just one-time use and dispose them off. That's the product utility point of view, like a combs or a brush or something. But of course, I believe that the challenge over here is also how much to dispose and where to dispose. So what we need to actually understand is wherever there is a option available where a thing can be sanitized and sterilized and reused, we should go for that instead of just going for only disposables where it has its own challenges of disposing itself, plus the cost that will be added on the service for the salon. So it's how much that they can eventually take it. So that's two aspects to look at it. And like Ankit said, the need for the hour is doing quicker service and more turnaround on the chairs, and how can a particular service be done with the same result in a reduced time. This is a common inquiry that we're getting. So right from when it's hair color or hair treatments, there is an immense number of inquiry for clamazones, which is reduces the time of hair color baking. So salons are eventually looking at, taking those equipments and machines, which would definitely speed up the process and still hold on to the results etiquettes. But that's going to be the new category of businesses going further, at least for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good time. Like we've seen on some of the WhatsApp groups roll on, community coming together to kind of give advice, support, etc. It's probably also a good time for if possible, for the brands to also come together to give this kind of good advice to clients, because you will also have some that, if we're not following kind of good guidance across the board with brands saying, look, this is how you do good servicing, you don't have to go overboard, you don't need the PPE, especially because you're representing global brands as well. It's probably good if we can get a kind of, even use this as an opportunity to say to salons, these are good practices we're seeing. You don't have to overspend and worry about it's going to cost you 20, 30% extra, because these are the kind of precautions you should take without over-investing, and also, like you're saying, the kind of recycling or reusable strategy, that could help the salons as well.
Yeah.
So can I, Vikas, can I add up one just point? I mean, especially for those people who are who are having this notion that they have to operate under capacity. So a couple of suggestions for them. One, of course, as Rayat suggested, that, let's look into increasing the efficiency. That means that how fast we can ensure that color services are taken off. And of course, the nail services or the other hair services. But I would also suggest that, salons have beautiful opportunity in terms of having a group booking, so like entire family visits salon at once, and so somebody would be probably taking a haircut, somebody would be taking pedicure, manicure, coloring, whatever, based on the need. So this basically, in a way, you know that, you are the only one in the salons and no other ones. And of course, salons will ensure that, the adequate hygiene care and everything is performed before accepting you in. But this is a good opportunity, that you call 4 or 5 people from a group, from a family, and, you serve them, keep the salon, completely reserved for them for 2 hours, 3 hours, whatever it is. And rather than charging them for the services, you charge them maybe a lump sum money or something. Or I don't know. I mean, this is just, I don't know. This could be a very vague idea, but I think this
from like you've all mentioned, we need to work really hard as a community to build back consumer confidence, because even though your customer is the salon, what's really important is that customers start coming back to salons and regularly come back. So they don't just come once and then they think this wasn't a good experience, we're worried about health and safety. So what are the kind of things we can do as a community, and especially what can brands do to help drive that end consumer confidence, that they should come back to salons, it's safe to come back?
Okay, so you want me to take up this question?
Actually, I'll pick on Ankit for this one, because he was mentioning about some of the trends he's seeing.
Okay.
So I think for us to build consumer confidence, as I said, first of all, we have to make sure that it is safe to come to salons. Of course, I will not talk too much about hygiene and sanitization, as there have been multiple forums, and I think we're all aware of these things. But yes, as I said, that we have to relook and reinvent the same set of services. For example, let's look at the traditional manicure pedicure services, wherein you use a certain set of tools, you dip your hands and feet, and you get your services done. And the same tool cannot be disposed. I mean, the same area cannot be disposed, etc. So things like waterless pedicure manicure systems, wherein sitting at the same barber chair, getting your hair services done, you can also instantly get your pedicure or a manicure done without any mess, without having to touch any of these, the standard bowls and stuff, and very, very hygienic and very, very fast. Similarly, another aspect can also be, getting things like having innovative tools, such as doing a hair spa, but having such tools like there is a certain kind of brush which you can use for a low touch hair spa. So things like that. So you'll have to re-innovate ways that when the client is sitting on the chair, what maximum you can take out from the limited time that you have. And if it's a keratin service, then you need to have services in which usually these services are stretched around 2 days, 3 days. The client has to come back for a wash. So having services like the same day wash, or having keratin services or having other kind of blow dry services, which gives you a result which can last for about a week's time. So these are the kind of different products and different services that are being rolled out now. One very innovative thing also can possibly be is, as we have mentioned, that the facials might take time to pick up the skin services. We have some facial kits which you can actually retail, and the salon and the client can do the facial at home. It's like a ready-to-use facial kit. It's like a retail product which can be sold off the shelf, and the client can take it and perform the facial at home. So these are the kind of ways wherein we will have to innovate in what we offer, and whatever limited time we have with each client, we spend that time and we maximize our revenues.
But are these, Ankit, the products that you're saying, are these specially now formulated or invented because of the lockdown? I mean, were they previously there, or is it come now?
So previously, this kind of concept existed in some countries, but
No,
in
with you
India,
rather. Yeah.
yeah, with us also, we
Yeah.
in fact just recently started them, and now
Okay.
we see a bigger opportunity of these kind of products being rolled out.
Yeah, I
So
think the
that is
waterless
where
mani-pedi is a great thing.
what it is
Yeah.
mani-pedi, and even these facial kits, they are also a full box which has a spatula, a bowl, the full set of products that you can do a facial at home. So these are the ways. I mean, I feel that the salons will have to, how we see these perfumeries abroad, they will have to reinvent their retail area, have professional products, because the client trusts the salons. Because when you go to a regular cosmetic shop to buy stuff, usually the level of education provided is limited. Here you are talking to the experts, the hairdressers, the beauticians, the people who are all knowing well about the trade. So they give you expert advice on what products to choose. So you should have a boutique, you should have a nice bouquet of products that you can offer to the clients. And the clients will start coming back to you for their requirements, which earlier was they used to only buy the shampoo or some cream, but they can have a larger pool or larger variety of products that they can buy from you.
Yeah, that's a great point. So even Ravi mentioned as well about the retail from salon concept, because I think globally, salon spas have never been great at retailing and having that as an extra revenue stream. And in India as well, I think the same trend is there, that there are very few salons that really know how to maximize in-store retail. I was listening to another a skin brand yesterday, and the owner was talking about ideally 50% of the salon revenue should be from retail. So can you, and like we know, look, no matter what disaster happens, no matter how bad times are, there are also great opportunities if you can really think hard enough, right, and get through the struggle. There are also ways that we've got to innovate. We have to think differently. So like Ankit, with the kind of, you now rolling out these kind of innovations more aggressively in this time, Ravi, can you see an opportunity to now educate your salon customers more effectively about how to retail and how to drive, some of your products that could be only sold by salons to their end customer? Ravi, you go first, because you've got.
I mean, to be honest, Vic, we've been working on this for past 2 years already. And it is, I mean, initially it was difficult to even, educate salons about it and the importance of retailing. But then gradually, slowly, because we are absolutely in salon brands. We don't go online, and we absolutely, we want to be in salon brands for future as well. So now they started realizing that, it is important for the clients to have home care products in order to maintain their skins, and then even come back and, for the next time they'll have even better results. So now they started realizing over a period of time, but then this situation has probably, made this education even more, important for them now. And they're realizing by selling the products, and even the customers coming back to them and asking, that they want the home care at least to maintain their skin in this period. So it is it is getting better day by day. And I think that if not 50%, the salons will reach to a level, when in the future for sure.
Yeah.
Because I would just like to add one point here. When we are talking about, we are talking about the new products, let's say in probably possibility of introducing new product in pedicure or manicure, dry pedicure. I think we should also understand the fact that, by the time we roll it out and reaches the client, it's not going to be in a country like India, where this distribution is so dispersed. It's not going to be an easy work. So I would suggest, that people should even be guided on how to carry out the existing pedicure and manicure with utmost care and safety. So that's also important, because everybody may not have access to or understanding of carrying out, because everything, you need to impart training to use these kind of products. And, this is not an ideal time. So I think that's also important. We should consider that, because many people may not have money to buy new products, but they would like to live with the existing product and carry out some services with existing lines. So I think that's something which any one who's dealing with these lines need to educate the people how to maintain their own safety.
Yeah,
carrying out the services.
Yeah, that's a very good point, Rizwan. And I think you're right. Salons are less likely to experiment right now. But if you've got the right proposition in terms of you can balance health and safety and also help them deliver services quicker, which may help their revenue, their margin at the end of the day, still conscious of health and safety. It's just kind of looking at, can we deliver, I don't know with a waterless system, can it still provide the same level of health and safety? Can it still, we know soap and water is great at killing germs. So can you still deliver that with a waterless system?
So now actually this concept evolved out of Brazil, and there it was a law to have these kind of services. And the reason why they were developed was for two important reasons. One was to eliminate the travel of bacteria, etc., by using the same set of bowls and the same set of tools. And the other very big concept was also to save water, which is a depleting resource. So this product was founded on these two principles. And at the same time, unless it guarantees result, there is no point in doing offering these kind of products. And now with all of us washing our hands so frequently, so many times, much more than what we used to do before, all our hands are dry, our skins are chapped. So you need quick fix solutions which are safe, efficient, that you can just, bring back and recognize your hands again.
Right. And actually just going back to, again, this point about how do we help salons retail more? Again, from the presentation I saw yesterday, this owner said that from her research, and she said her business has been going about 40 years, that the more product a customer buys from the salon or spa, the more likely they are to return. And there was a stat like, if they buy 0 products, 10% return. This is more from a spa point of view, but it's still applicable to salon. It got up to, if they were buying 3 products or more, they were more than 50% likely to return to that spa. So, what's the kind of training that we could do? Because, say, Ryan, to your salons, and their technicians, stylists, etc., to really support them, understand in still an ethical way, how to really support selling to their customer a product that is of value and works.
So I'll tell you, Vic, I think since forever that I've been doing business with salon industry, home care has always been a part of the business of salons. It's never that I haven't come across any salon which was not selling any home care of any category. And I think home care is a part of your services to be completed. What you do inside a salon is not a complete service in terms of, okay, the service gets completed on the application mode. But if you're looking at the right results, it needs to be taken care of. So if somebody's done a hair color, they need a hair color shampoo. Somebody who's done a skin treatment need good amount of UV blocks and moisturizers as per their skin types. So the service that you do actually in a salon, in order to have its 100% justification and result, home care is a must. So a service doesn't get completed if home care is not supplied by a salon. So while it is, of course, a business revenue to the salon, but I don't look at it from that point of view. I think this is a part of the ritual. While you do all your services to your client, it is very important for salons to even give those home care service products back to them, because the moment they're out of the salon, they need to start using them to maintain their skin and to the way they have seen themselves while being serviced in the salon. So that is one of the things that it's a part of the entire regime, sales of home care. Two, we all know that the relationship between a customer and a salon owner is more like a doctor and patient relationship. It's people who come to the salons and share their problems, that I think I have wrinkles, I have black spots, I have hair loss, I have dandruff. It's all over, up to toe. There are problems that's been discussed with a consultant, and with the faith and hope that the advices that would come will make them cure this, and which actually happens. So while the doctor is treating, while that is the esthetician or the beautician who's treating the customer at that particular time, they are bound to advise the medicines they need to do home, so that this doesn't reoccur. So I think home care is not just sales, but if there are salons who are not focusing on this, then guys, it's not that you're losing only business, but you're not being fair to your client also to give a complete portfolio of service. It is a must have for a completion of a service to be done.
Right. And then Ravi, any other, I mean, let's move on to like, how do we as the brands really look at how do we support salons? So obviously we can't talk about, we're not going to get onto this whole point of credit lines, discounts, because we're all part of the same community. We all depend on each other, right? So just like salons depend on their customers coming back, they're worried about their rent, they're worried about their staff. Brands are also in the same position where you've got to maintain high fixed costs as well. So that's not a way that you can support the salon community, because good quality brands will go out the market if we by doing anything that isn't good business practice. So are there any other kind of ideas where we can help support salons with regards to building more business, driving more revenue opportunities for them?
Vic, I mean, our relationship with salons is beyond business, to be honest. And we want to do our best and use all possible resources in order to, have them getting back into business. So as far as regenerating revenues are concerned, it's definitely different. Once as I have before mentioned, that once they regain the confidence of the consumer, the business will definitely come to them. So I mean, it's because situation is, currently uncertain at the moment. It seems like how to start, where to start from, and this is with every business which is closed at the moment. Restarting business, any business is not that easy. So, but then as we've already discussed, maybe probably they will want to rotate, the chairs quickly, or have fast result oriented services been provided, or also the extended hours they will look at the moment, because initially to start with they will be working with lesser manpower, maybe 33% as described by the government. So they have to see that they can utilize the resources to optimum level and that scenario. And I personally feel that since they'll be now going all out with the prior appointments, they'll be able to organize themselves pretty well.
I just want to add upon this, Vic. I think it's about time now that salons should start creating communications and maybe videos about what they're going to do. How do they make the client feel absolutely safe? It's about the confidence that the customer will get, that they will be safe when they will be in the salon, is a responsibility of all the salons. What have you done? How is your staff going to be dressed? What is your sanitization process? How the functions will happen? And everything should be maybe in pictures or maybe in videos, and reach out to your customer base. Don't try to make it a big shout about it, but at least reach out to your customer base, that this is what is ready for them, and how much does a salon care for them. So this shout out is very important, and that's what's going to gain confidence and make a client come to you.
Yeah, and I think that's right now it's really important for the whole community to come together and spread that confidence. And I think even looking at what lessons we can see from overseas salons that have opened up, because so for example, in Australia, like we are knowing here in India, we're much more, there's still a high fear factor about the virus. But Australia has opened up and people are walking around without masks and going back to life as normal. So every country is different at the moment, how they're reacting. I mean, we're already starting to see data coming from, China, Taiwan, South Korea, now Scandinavia, about salons are very busy at the moment. You're saying 2 months, like of forward booking, which is almost similar to how when a new restaurant opens, a new premium restaurant opens, you cannot get a table for months because, they book out. They don't do walk-ins. So a lot of top restaurants have booked, we're booked, you book us only. And then it makes you want to go desperate to I have to be at that salon because, and Ravi will know it, being the Delhi culture as well. I mean, it's just the more it's booked out, the harder it is to get into, the more likely you want to go there. So let's just also look at.
Times were different, my friend.
Well, no, I think
times were different. Once, now it's a time that everybody wants business. So nobody's going to say that they're like kind of sold out or something.
Not sold out, but I think the booking system is also a way of. What we don't want is salons really busy in week 1, and then week 2, 3, 4 is quiet because everyone's flooded in. I think it's also like, how do you manage that flow over time as well? I think the other thing we could look at, so obviously we've looked at our relationship as brands, salons, what we can do as a community, but are you seeing from a more general business point of view, any new ways of working with clients? Because we know that, especially here in India, when clients ring up, you've got to go visit them very fast, right? So you've got to have, the owner's got to run down there or the team has to go and respond. But now that everyone is Zooming 24/7, are you able to kind of then, can you see opportunities of, new ways of working with clients that could become more efficient, more productive use of time between the brands and the salon?
Well, I think, yes, this technology has really enabled all of us to come so close to each other without actually being inside a professional beauty exhibition right now, where we all usually catch up.
That's when we all meet. That's true.
So I think now if you have a prior appointment, it is much easier to communicate. And I think the best part now is that you can work much more closely. It's not about that, I mean, if I'm in Delhi, Raid is in Bombay, if he has to meet customers or clients in Delhi, he has to come down all the way, or we have to go to Bombay, etc. So all that was possible at some time, was possible not every time. So now that with this change and adaptation of technology, thank God that now everybody's adapted now. Before, we used to use all these things for talking to our overseas suppliers already, or our overseas partners, but now even to talk with friends, with industry, with clients, with everyone, it's become the norm. And even this technology has also been trickled down to the grassroots level. So now we are able to even offer education at the click of a button. So earlier, even to provide some education, or if a client used to have some technical problem, they used to ring us up and we used to fix an appointment, and somebody used to go and visit them and give them the information. Now everything can be very fast. We need educators who can be available at a short notice on call, and we can immediately provide them the assistance. So I think it's a level playing field, and I definitely feel that despite we all are sitting in our own homes, COVID has really brought us all together. I've interacted with the industry much more than we used to normally interact with in our daily life in the pre-COVID
It's
era.
true.
So I think it's a
It's
big
true, yeah.
enabler.
There are slightly conflicting viewpoint here.
Acha. Everybody can take it differently. So
Honestly, because I personally feel in that, that meeting in person, meeting in flesh, exchanging emotions, anguish, probably a cup of coffee or tea, brings a different experience all put together to the business. And don't forget that we are in sales and we have to understand client better in flesh rather than Zoom. Zoom is, yes, I mean, this is a momentary support. I'll call it suspended animation, which we are living on, but this is not going to be a new normal for sure. But we'll come back to our traditional
let us
way
all
of doing
hope and be
business.
positive
Yeah,
that we come back to where we were.
Absolutely.
I'll be happy, to know that.
Yes. But for now, this
And
is
one more point, Vikas. I just wanted to, because I think we are approaching, I don't know if you have some question and answer. This is for the Salon community, okay? I believe in India, if you look at total salons sales revenue, it would be roughly 35 to 40,000 crore. And if you look at the total size of the professional hair and skincare company, it is not more than 3,000 crore. So come out of this phenomena that we are patronizing you, actually in return you are patronizing us, okay? So what Rayat said is right, that there has to be a lot of communication actually between us. There's a lot of expression of your need, aspiration of your need to be conveyed to us so that we work on it and come out with a solution which would be probably most suitable for you and your client. So it's important that you give importance to yourself. And yes, companies can come in between. We can help you in terms of, developing some, maybe some business tools, intelligence tools. Maybe we can come out with some gadgets which would probably help you identify any abnormalcy with the staff or, customer while entering your salon for services. Or maybe, areas we bring you the best health and hygiene practices. We bring you best international salon practices. But still, you're paramount. It's like when Salon looks up to brand of 3,000 crore in total, it shows like, a shark is asked to push a whale into the water for its survival, So you guys have to help us survive.
It's
True.
Seriously.
I mean, we all depend on each other at the moment. So it's what we call a symbiotic relationship. So salons depend on the end customer coming in. We've got to give them confidence.
Yes.
Brands depend on salons, but salons also depend on the brand, because what we can't have at this moment in time is good quality brands not surviving, because health and safety will come from the big quality brands, and we know that you represent with Streaks at exports, but the others also have the importers. They represent brands that have some of the highest health and safety considerations, good products. I mean, do you, again, looking at opportunity point of view, I know when we did a salon panel a couple of weeks ago, there was this conversation that salons will become a bit more conservative. They will just stick with the brands they're used to. They're going to focus on the quality. So are you seeing, what are your thoughts around that in terms of what salons should be doing at the moment? I know there might be a conflict here, but in terms of where should they be looking regards to what brands they should be working with, what products, because the last couple of years I've seen a flood of brands entering the market. Every day something's coming, but what do you think is a message we should be saying to salons at the moment?
So I'll take this. Well, I think the need for the hour is not try to innovate anything much in terms of brand shifts or service shifts or product shifts, honestly, because already when you restart, there is a whole new innovation system which is in place. you know. So one is your expertise of products and things that you've been working all these while, and you've got to become an expert of them. Hold on to them, that at least that is sorted, because you're going to be having a complete new process of working with them now. At least you would know what you're using and how it works, and you will be able to match the new normal, what everybody is saying these days, along with your one-time use products or disposables or precautionary measures, you know. So I think as an advice, we would definitely hold on to the fact that the salons should hold on to the existing brands and products and not much try and innovate new things right now. Just start, start moving the wheel, see how it goes, see how things are required, how things come up. And then eventually when things get a little sorted, maybe down the line.
Yeah. Ankit?
I think I think what Ryan is saying is correct, because also now it's no longer the relationship between the brand and the salon is no longer a buyer-seller relationship. It's more about the long-term partnership where we all need to build together. The salons also now choose their brand partners after a lot of very carefully, and this has to be a long-term partnership. There is no a ready formula or a standard size fits all way or an association with each customer. The salons need a partner, they need a brand that listens to them and works things around and creates a solution for them. So I think it's very important to pick the right partner that in the category of brand that the salon is looking at, and then continue and build a long-term relationship with that. That's what I feel.
So Ravi, it sounds like we're talking about marriage. So what's your advice?
Absolutely.
And I agree what Ankit and Rai has said, and I see salons moving away from the multi brands they used to be in the past, and stick to with the best brands that they have, and sort of marriage is a term that you use because they have to take care of the unnecessary inventory investments as well. I mean, so it is in a way that whatever costs can be saved at this hour will be good for everybody.
Super.
And it's the same thing for the brands also, no? We also would be focused on that many people and that many customers who are associated with us already. I mean, that's our priority and upfront. We rather take good care of the set of customers we already have than trying to not be available for the existing and opening new doors. I think that would be foolish from the brand's point also. So both marriage is the right word that you've used. There's the girlfriends can be maybe in 2021.
This is another kind of containment, actually.
Okay, super. We've also answered, we've had questions which I've ended up asking you anyway in the conversation, but any other points you guys want to say at the moment to kind of sum up? Well, it's already 6 o'clock, so anything you guys want to say to wrap up our kind of communication to the industry?
I think it's
only thing.
Okay, Ravi.
Sorry, Ankit, please.
What? Sorry. Okay. Oh, so I think that we all need to be positive. We all need to stay sane, and it's a difficult time, no doubt. It's for everyone. It's for the world. But sooner or later, we all will come out of it. We'll come out stronger, and it's just about let's be optimistic. Let's take whatever precautions we all can, and look at the positive side of it. There's lots to learn from this situation, and some experiences of this situation will last us for our lifetimes. So let's just be positive, and I'm sure slowly we'll all be there.
Only thing one thing I want to add what Ankit said. At end of the day, we all have to learn to live with this virus now. I mean, this is not going anywhere. So let's get positive and let's find our ways around it.
I think I would just like to add up one thing that, just sensitize your stylist, sensitize your customer, and be mindful of anything that you're doing, because when it comes to hygiene, I mean, there are hundreds of essentials which need to be performed every day in the salon. And probably, if you count it, probably it will go 1,000-fold or 2,000-fold a day. because each and every element, the equipment, the tool which you are using need to be clean, sanitized, disposed, and so many things you have to do. So I would say that just be mindful of, be mindful and alert of what you are doing, and ensure that, you're not, it's not just about you, it's about the whole community. It's about you, it's about the person you are, serving, it's about the people, other people around the salon, and of course, a whole lot of things. So I think you just don't be casual, don't try and take a risk, don't do experiment, just stick to the basics which has been taught to you in terms of hygiene and health practices. That's it. And we'll overcome, that's not a problem. See, COVID is not a taboo, as somebody says, it's not a taboo. It's not a result of a sin, I mean, you never know. The target could be one of us. But yes, we have to learn to survive in this. No need to worry about it. Dukane khulengi, restaurants khulenge, sab log jayenge. And I think I was speaking to somebody in Italy and a while ago from Dubai. Of course, there are a lot of guidelines which is being laid, and people are trying and living up to it. So I think we should do the same thing here also, just stick to the basics which has been laid down for you, and be mindful, alert. And of course, I would just say that, your nose, your ears, your mouth, your eyes need to be protected while carrying out services. PPE kit and those jumpsuit, what Rad calls it, or astronaut suit is not required, honestly speaking. And these four things need to be protected very well compared to others. That's it. Thanks.
So, Ryan, your kind of concluding remarks. So while I know we're trying to be positive, and it is tough to be positive at the moment, and it is a struggle for all of us. But any kind of thoughts you have to kind of wrap up our communication?
I think just take it light, guys. Take it easy. Don't overthink. Don't stress over it. We all are a part of the system. It's all around us. There's no escape plan. Just be safe. Change is one thing which is constant. So that's the positivity. Even if it is there today, tomorrow it will change. And there is nothing which is irreplaceable. So let's replace this with positivity, and let's look forward. I mean, we all know what is to be done. Let's go with our best shot. We'll come off it.
So we're going to wrap up on that note. I mean, what we're going through as a community is not easy. So a lot of us are struggling. I know we want to be positive. There will be friends, colleagues that may not survive this kind of period, and over the next 6-9 months. But I think what we need to understand, I think, Ankit, like you mentioned, it's very much about the partnership we all have with each other, which right now we have to really focus on the partnership, looking after each other, so that we survive this period. And once we're over this, we can look at how to start thriving again. But right now, brands, salons, and customer, we're all in it together to get through this fight. So thank you very much, guys, for being part of this conversation for the community.
Thank you for having us, Vic.
Right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks
for bearing with us.
Thank you, guys.
So,
Yes.
Bearing with me. Sorry.
No worries. And tomorrow we switch to the salon side. So tomorrow 5 to 6:15 p.m. We're going to hear from the salons from around the country about what their take and point of view is, at the moment on this phase. So tune in tomorrow at 5 o'clock as well.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much.
Thanks a lot for having me.